Hello everyone and welcome to the Thastu ICS. My name is Trija Garg and I am your economy faculty. Today we will be continuing the priority number 4. Okay, so priority number 4 is manufacturing and services, in which the government is trying to enhance and boost and strengthen our manufacturing sector, focusing majorly on the MSMEs, that is the micro, small and medium enterprises, and besides that also increase the services, that is the employment, also the services that is provided by the government or the other tribunals to enhance again the productivity and strengthen the MSME sector. Now, when we talked about the MSME sector yesterday, I told you there are certain challenges with the MSME sector, right? For example, there's a challenge of funding, there's a challenge of productivity, there's a challenge of competitiveness at the global level, there's a problem of no collateral, there are a lot of problems with MSMEs, right? Now to counter like these challenges, the government has announced certain schemes and initiatives to help them only. So, for example, let us talk about the fifth. If you remember, in the PM package, there are 5 schemes, 4 we have already discussed in employment and skilling. Now the fifth one is internship in top companies. So what is happening in this is, basically the government will help provide exposure to our youth. Youth, that is one of the 4 our focus areas of this year's budget. Youth यानी कि युवा, okay, तो उनको exposure मिलेगा, they will get the exposure for 12 months to real life business environment, okay, varied professions and employment opportunities. Now the government will help them recruit in providing internships to 1 crore youth of our country in 500 top companies over 5 years. Interns will receive 5,000 rupees per month and one-time assistance of rupees 6,000 as well. Companies will contribute to the training cost. Okay, so this will be given by the government, and the companies, you know that they have certain CSR, that is basically corporate social responsibility policy that a company has, that besides earning profits, they need to contribute to the society as well. So from this fund, basically 10% of internship cost will be taken out and the companies will contribute in training our youth. So government will provide the funds, companies will train them, government will provide the stipends and everything to 1 crore youth over 5 years, right? And the company will basically incur the cost. So now our 4 areas, that is the farmers, Annadata, youth, Yuva, women, Mahilaएं, poor, that is the Garib, and our theme employment, skilling, MSME, middle class. So this youth will be basically given employment, that is internship, they will have experience and also their skills will be enhanced so that they become industry ready for job opportunities. Okay, that is number 1, part of PM's 5 package of employment and skilling. What will be the benefits for the economy? Provides practical exposure and the skills to the young professionals. This will enhance their productivity, their employability, and career opportunities will also increase for the youth. There will be the gap between the skills and the industrial demand will also be narrowed down, and supports industry with a skilled workforce. So now before entering the industry properly, you are getting trained for 12 months, which is adding more to your skills. You will become more productive, right? So I hope you remember the concept of human capital formation. So we have human resource and our working age population group is 15 to 59 years. Now if we want to convert this into human capital, we will educate them, we will provide skills to them, and we will also take care of their health, right? So the government is focusing on the skills right now, and what is happening in this case then? This human resource, using the skills, investing in the skills of the human resource, this human resource will be converted into human capital. Okay, this human capital, their productivity will increase, which will lead to higher income for them at individual level, more contribution to the society at national level also. In return, increase the economic growth of our country. So that is what the government is doing right now. Okay, now let's move to our second, industrial parks. What are industrial parks? Industrial parks are basically, there is a proper tract of land. In that land, there are everything is available. For example, there's roads, there's proper amenities and everything to the industries, and the industries can work with together. There are different industries, individual industries in an industrial park. It is like a park for different industries. Okay, so what is happening is development of investment ready plug and play model. It will be a plug and play model. In plug and play model, basically you are already given ready facilities. You will be given buildings, you will be given powers, water, sewage connectivity, road connectivity. You will be given all the formal clearances, so that there is no problem in opening a new new industry in that industrial park. So we will have the government will invest in developing of investment ready industrial parks in 100 cities in partnership. Okay, in 100 cities in partnership. 12 industrial parks will be sanctioned under our National Industrial Corridor Development Program. So 12 industrial parks increase the industrial activity, hence increasing the economic activity, making it easier. Ease of doing business also increases. Everything becomes easier for the industrial sector to actually produce goods and services, right? And this will increase economic activities, production of goods and services, hence the economic growth in our country. What will be the benefit for the economy? Attracts investment and promotes industrial growth, right? That is a secondary sector, and you know that because as Indian economy, we jumped from primary sector to services sector. Though around 1950s to 1990, we did establish a bit of industrial base, but still we can say it was not as strong as it could have been. Okay, and post 1991 reforms also we did focus on industrialization, but still we can say that we need to become more self-reliant, and that is what the India is focusing on. So we are promoting industrial growth, provides comprehensive infrastructure, reducing setup time for businesses. Now when a business comes, they have a lot of formalities, they have to set up connectivities, everything. So we are already giving them everything ready. If everything is readily available, it becomes easier for you to set up a production unit. Boost regional economic development and job creation. Wherever the industrial parks will be opened, their regional economic development will be increased, which will reduce the regional disparities. Also, as industrial units, they require more and more people, so jobs will be created, hence again focusing on the MSME sector, our MSME sector, and youth and employment here. Okay, so industrial park is also known as industrial estate, also known as trading estate. Okay, then we have rental housing for industrial workers. So whoever are working, or are laborers, all the industrial laborers, all the industrial workforce, they will be able to get the dormitory type domes hote hain, domes in which there's a big hall, a lot of people live together. Okay, that rental housing for industrial workers in PPP, that is public private partnership. Public sector and the private sector will work together with VGF support. VGF is viability gap funding. What is viability gap funding? Basically, it is to support infrastructure projects which look economically viable and justified, but because of their short of marginal financial viability. So what happens is the government provides them with financial support, okay, until they become economically viable. Okay, so what will be the benefit for this? This will improve the living conditions for the industrial workers, providing them with accommodation. This because now they will be living and the quality of life will not be compromised. So their productivity will increase, stability, retention will increase. Also, this will enhance the overall industrial growth. Then shipping industry reforms. Okay, so when we talk about the shipping industry, what is happening in this is the government will implement the ownership that is more domestic shipping owners leasing to make it attractive for all the shipping and domestic industry, and flagging reforms. Okay, so to get it under the Indian flag, all of this will be implemented by the government. Okay, so that our shipping industry increases. This will be aimed at increasing the share of Indian shipping industry and generating employment. So our shipping industry will increase and employment will be generated more. Okay, as always, whenever there is an economic activity, that increases the employment opportunities in that area. Now, what will be the benefit for the economy? This will strengthen our domestic shipping industry. Shipping services comes under the tertiary sector. Again, get more and more strengthened and boosted. Creates more job in the maritime sector and enhances India's global trade capabilities. We will be the ones now providing the shipping services. It will be easier for us now if this gets developed, and again at the global level also we can become a major part of it. Critical mineral mission. Now, there are certain critical minerals which are very, very important for the industries. For example, copper, lithium, nickel, we have cobalt, and we have rare earth elements, for example, the heavy rare earth elements. So now we will establish critical mineral mission of domestic production regarding and overseas acquisition of critical minerals as well. We want to increase the supply of critical minerals. This will include technology development, skilled workforce, extend the producer's responsibility framework and financing mechanism. So we will just help in the supply of critical minerals which are important to develop our industrial sector as well. So now this will secure the supply of essential minerals for high-tech industries that we need, promote technological innovation and development. This will also support sustainable and strategic economic growth for the country. Now, offshore mining of minerals. What is offshore mining? Basically, we retrieve mineral deposits from deep seabed at the depth of below 200 meters. So, we will launch our first tranche of offshore blocks for mining. Benefits: explore and utilize untapped mineral resources. For example, what happens in offshore mining is we have polymetallic nodules. Okay, for example, this includes precipitated iron oxyhydroxide and manganese oxides, onto which metals such as nickel, cobalt again are will be a part of critical minerals mission. Okay, and titanium and rare earth elements gather. So what we do is unwanted sediments are thrown back into the ocean, and others, the important minerals, we take it out of it. Okay, this will also promote economic diversification for us, support industrial growth and job creation. Again, digital public infrastructure. The examples of digital public infrastructure: Aadhaar, UPI, FASTag. All of this is digital infrastructure that helps provide social services easily. So, we will develop DPI applications for productivity gains, business opportunities, innovations in various sectors, making it more digitalized, making the industry more digitalized. Benefits: efficiency will increase, everything will be recorded digitally, and service delivery will also be increased in the key sectors because everything can be tracked in real time as well. Promotes private sector innovations and supports overall economic development. Then we have integrated technology platform from IBC ecosystem. When we talk about IBC, we are actually talking about insolvency and bankruptcy code. Okay, so in this what we will do is we will establish an integrated technology platform in which all the stakeholders, debtors, creditors, professionals, tribunals, they all will be integrated on this platform. Okay, what will happen is that whatever is related to our insolvency and bankruptcy code, that will become better. Benefits for the economy: this will ensure consistency because everything is integrated now, everything can be solved properly, transparency will be there, timely processing of insolvency cases in which the companies go bankrupt. Okay, enhances stakeholder confidence also in the bankruptcy process and supports financial stability. For example, I have given some money to the firm and they go insolvent, so now I know that everything is integrated here. If the firm defaults, then I might be able to get the repayment back by liquidating their assets. Supports financial stability and economic reliance. Okay, so we are basically, if we integrate everything, it becomes easier for us to track and speed up the process. Voluntary closure of LLPs, that is limited liability partnerships, in which basically minimum two partners, they come together, open a business, and the liability is divided between them. In this case, if they want to exit, then they can exit, and their names, companies' names, can be striked out from the Ministry of Corporate Affairs register. So it becomes easier for us. So for this, we have extension of CPACE services for voluntary closure of LLPs. Center for Processing Accelerated Corporate Exit. So they can exit properly, and from the registers we can cut their names. What will be the benefit? Streamline the process of closing business easily, reduces administrative burdens on entrepreneurs. They don't have to go through a lot of administration through this process, through this, exit service. We can help them close the business easily and supports ease of doing business, right? Then we have national company law tribunals. What are tribunals? Like courts only, right? So reforms and strengthening of tribunals to speed up insolvency resolution. So what is insolvency resolution? So there is corporate insolvency process is a recovery of mechanism of creditors. So if creditors default, then what will happen is, if corporate becomes insolvent and they default the financial creditor, they can file or initiate a CIRP, that is corporate insolvency resolution process, and if there is no way that they can repay, then their assets can be liquidated for that. So reforms, we will reform and strengthen the tribunals to do that. Establishment of additional tribunals also, so that we will make new additional tribunals for some cases of Companies Act, so that the burden on NCLT, that is National Companies Law Tribunal, it reduces. Okay. What will be the benefit? Expedites resolution of insolvency cases, improves recovery rate for creditors, and enhances the overall business environment, that your money is not going anywhere. Then we have debt recovery. Reforms and strengthening of debt recovery tribunals, again, so that it becomes easier and speeds up. Establishment of additional tribunals to speed up the recovery process. Improves efficiency in debt recovery. Financial stability is enhanced. Support lender confidence. So now lenders know that their money is not going anywhere. We have the support from the government and the credit flow is not stopped. Okay, because what happens is sometimes the lenders, they feel that if their money is, not coming back, then they stop lending money. The confidence loses. So this is what it is about. So this was our priority number 4. Let us just quickly revise using that flowchart by the PIB, how we will strengthen the MSME sector. The PDF will be available in the description, so you can download it from there. Okay, so I hope you've been revising and this has been helpful for you. After all the priorities, we will also have a live session for revision in which we will be revising all the points through MCQs, so that you are extremely prepared for the budget. Okay, just 1 second. Yes, here. So credit guarantee scheme by the government, okay, to strengthen the MSME sector. New assessment model, I told you about this, to not rely on the external assistance for this. Enhanced scope for mandatory onboarding in TREDS, we have reduced the threshold for this. Mudra loans, we have increased till 20 lakhs rupees. Credit support to MSMEs during stress periods for emergency credit also. For food irradiation, quality and safety testing also, what are we doing? We are increasing their standards as per national and international standards. Okay, 12 industrial parks will be developed under National Industrial Corridor Development Program. Rental housing in PPP mode with VGF, that is Viability Gap Funding Support. Critical Minerals Mission for domestic production, recycling and overseas acquisition. Strengthening of tribunal and appellate tribunals to speed up insolvency resolution, and additional tribunals will be set up. And the 5th package scheme of the PM's package is providing internship opportunities to our youth, 1 crore youth in next 5 years. Okay, so this is how we will strengthen our MSME sector, our youth, employment, skilling. I hope this was clear. Now what you have to do is you have to revise the priority number 4 again, watch yesterday's video and today's video together, and then the revision will be done for priority number 4. Tomorrow is priority number 5, that is about urban development. We will be learning what is urban development, why it is required and everything in tomorrow's lesson. Thank you so much everyone. Have a nice day.